Good morning. Today we'll start with the module 4, that is optical microscopy, scanning electron microscopy. So we shall discuss what is optical microscopy first, its principles and its details. So let's go now. What is optical microscope? An optical microscope is also called as a light microscope. It is one of the microscope which is making use of a visible light and a system of lenses to generate the magnified image of an object. Optical microscope, also called as light microscope, which make use of a visible light. So with the help of visible light and a system of lenses, we can generate the magnified image of the small objects. Basically, there are two types of optical microscope. One is called as a simple microscope. A simple microscope is a one which uses optical power of single lens or group of lenses for magnification. Whereas a compound microscope uses a system of lenses, that is one set of enlarging the image and the other one will be produced by the other. So to achieve higher magnification, we use what? A compound microscope, whereas a simple microscope produces lesser magnification. A simple microscope uses a single lens, whereas a compound microscope uses a system of lenses, that is one set enlarging the image produced by the another. So here the range of objective lenses with different magnifications are provided in the compound microscope, which allow us to rotate. Okay, a number of lenses will be mounted on the turret, which allows us to rotate, and we can have the zooming option also. So with this type of microscope, we can achieve a magnification of 1000x. So magnification of 1000x can be possible with compound microscope by using this visible light. Optical microscope is also called as a light microscope, and it makes use of visible light and lenses. In simple microscope, only a single lens is used. The magnification is comparatively lesser compared to a compound microscope. A compound microscope is the one which makes use of a system of lenses, and here we can achieve the higher magnification of an object, that to about 1000x magnification can be achieved, and it has also a facility for zooming also. Let us know what is a simple microscope first. A simple microscope is the one which uses a lens or a set of lenses to enlarge an object. So we can see in the figure here simple microscope, how it's working. So the working principle of a simple microscope. So it uses a lens to enlarge an object through angular magnification. So here, once the viewer is seeing the object, the image of that object is produced in the, that is a virtual image is produced, which is an enlarged virtual image. So here the use of a single convex lens or a group of lenses are found in simple magnification. So where such an application of simple microscope we can see in magnifying glasses. So magnifying glasses is the one where we can zoom, we can see the magnified image of an object. The same principle is adopted in simple microscope also. Say the same principle is adopted for eyepieces for telescopes and microscope. So a simple microscope is the one which makes use of a lens. So with the help of this lens, when the observer sees the object, the enlarged virtual image of the object is produced. What is a compound microscope? A compound microscope is the one which uses a lens close to the object. Here, in case of compound microscope, we make use of two types of lenses. Figure shows the working principle of a compound microscope. Here we can see that two types of lens are there. One is called as objective lens, the other one is eyepiece lens. So in a compound microscope, lens will be there which will be close to the object which is being to be viewed. So that lens is called as objective lens. What this objective lens will do? It will focus the real image of the object inside the microscope. The objective lens will focus the real image of the object inside the microscope. The image is then magnified by another set of lenses, that is called as a eyepiece. With this help of eyepiece lens, we can get the enlarged virtual image, enlarged inverted virtual image of the objects which the observer can see. So objective lens and eyepiece lens both are used here. That's why it is called as a compound microscope. Objective lens is used to focus a real image of the object inside the microscope, whereas the eyepiece will produce the enlarged inverted virtual image of the object which the observer can see it. Let us discuss what are the applications of this optical microscope. Applications are it is mainly used in microelectronics, nanophysics, biotechnology. So here in these fields, this optical microscope helps us to see the enlarged objects of the devices. So in microelectronics, nanophysics or biotechnology, they are also used in pharmaceutical research, also mineralogy and microbiology. So for these all purposes we make use of optical microscope, for that is for a study purpose. So optical microscope is also used in medical diagnosis also. So there the term called as histopathology, which is the one, it is an area which deals with the studying of the tissues or the smear tests on free cells or tissues fragments. So that is called as a histopathology. So optical microscopy is used for medical fields also. We make use of this optical microscope also in binocular microscopes, telescopes also. They are also used for precision measuring instruments. For example, they are called as measuring microscopes also. So where we require precision applications, there all we find the applications of this optical microscope. Let us know what are the advantages of optical microscope. As we see that the application of optical microscope are numerous. So it is cheap to purchase and operate. So even the cost of the optical microscope is less and it is easier to operate, and it is even smaller and portable. So it is handy also. We can carry it to any places. Natural color of the specimen can be observed. So the specimen's natural color can be observed as it is. And living as well as dead material can also be viewed through this type of microscope. In this optical microscope, we require certain step called as a preparation. Specimen preparation is most required here, so that we can view the particular areas. So preparation is relatively quick and simple compared to other processes. So compared to other types of microscopic techniques, the sample preparation is comparatively easier and it is quick here also. And it is unaffected by magnetic fields. So we do not have any magnetic fields generated because we make use of a light source. So therefore there is no such problem that the specimen will be affected by magnetic fields. Some of the disadvantages of this optical microscope are that it has some limited magnification. So it magnifies objects up to 1500x only. So up to magnification has a magnification is the major limitation with this type of microscopes. That is 1500x is the magnification that we can achieve. So as I told that we require specimen preparation for such type of microscope. So the preparation, during the preparation, some of the steps adopted for sample preparation may try to distort the specimen. The depth of the field is restricted, so we cannot have a detailed study of the specimen or the object that we are seeing. So therefore the depth of the field is been restricted. So it has a resolving power for biological specimens of around 1 nanometer. So the resolving power for biological specimens is only about 1 nanometer. The second one is a scanning electron microscope. So the advanced version of an optical microscope is called as a scanning electron microscope. A scanning electron microscope, it is also abbreviated as SEM. It is a type of electron microscope that produces image of a sample by scanning the surface with the focused beam of electrons. So in case of SEM or scanning electron microscope, we make use of a beam of electrons, a focused beam of electrons to scan the surface of an object. So that's why it is also called as electron microscope. So what happens in this scanning electron microscope or electron microscope is that the electrons that are produced, they will interact with the atoms in the sample, during which they will, when the electrons interact with this atom, they produce signals, so that will contain the information regarding the surface topography or the composition of the sample, whatever it is, and those informations will be collected by various number of detectors, and they are then studied. So therefore SEM makes use of a beam of electrons to interact with the atoms in the sample. So with this type of microscope, we can achieve resolutions better than 1 nanometer. So the resolution is still more better compared to optical microscope. So here we can achieve resolutions better than 1 nanometer. So let us know what are the different components of SEM and how its working principle is. So let's discuss now principle of SEM. So the main components of this SEM are the source of electrons or the focused beam of electrons that we require. Second one, there is a column wherein the electrons have to travel to reach that object. So they will pass through the system of lenses. There are a set of electron detector and a sample chamber and computer display to view the images. So these are the elements or the components of a scanning electron microscope. So how the electrons are produced or where they are produced. The electrons are produced at the top of the column, accelerated down and passed through a combination of lenses and apertures. So in the next slide we'll see the figure of this scanning electron microscope. So the electrons are produced at the top of the column. A vertical column will be there. The electrons are at the top and they will travel down. When they are traveling down, they will pass through a combination of lenses and apertures, so that they will produce that focused beam of electrons to hit the surface of the sample. So this sample is mounted at the bottom of that column. The sample is mounted on a stage in the chamber area. So the microscope is designed so that it will operate at low vacuum. So that means what? The chamber is a vacuum operated, so it is working under vacuum. So both the column and the chamber are evacuated by using pumps. So figure shows the schematic of a scanning electron microscope. We can see in the figure that at the top of this column we have electron gun, which produces the focused beam of electrons. So below that we can see that there is a red color indicates that it is a electron beam. So this electron beam, as we see down, that when it goes down and reaches the object, it is being converged. So it will produce a focused beam of electrons to hit the surface of the sample. And we can see a set of lens here. First condenser lens, second condenser lens. So these lenses are helpful for making these electrons to converge and focus on and make that electrons to reach the sample in a form of a focused way. We have a set of deflection coils and we have electron detectors. So these electron detectors will try to receive the signals that are reflected back from the sample because of the interaction of the electrons with the surface atoms of the sample. So we have X-ray detector and a backscattered electron detector and secondary electron detector. So these informations will be gathered by these detectors and they will be collected and sent to the computer, and the computer will display it. So then we can study the information, or the scanned information can be seen on the computer screen. So we can see here the schematic of an SEM. The position of the electron beam on the sample is controlled by these scanning coils, so which are situated above this objective lens. So these coils will allow that beam to be scanned over the surface of the sample. This beam will scan information about that particular area on the sample that is to be collected. Then this electron and the sample interaction will be taking place. This electron and sample interaction will result into a number of signals. So these signals will be catched, or they will be detected by the appropriate detectors such as X-ray detectors, secondary electron detectors, backscatter electron detectors, and the information will be collected and displayed on a computer screen. So with the help of that computer, we can view the image and analyze the surface of that sample. Let us now discuss what are the applications of this SEM. So where this SEM is being used. So SEM is used mainly in scientific and industry related fields. So major applications of SEM are in scientific and industry related fields. So where we make use of these SEM for studying the characterization of solid materials. They are also used to analyze the topographical or morphological and composition of any particular object or any particular specimen. They are also used to detect or to analyze some surface fractures. So if we want to study any detailed information regarding the surface fracture, so these SEM images are helpful for analyzing and detecting the surface fractures. With the help of this, we can get the information regarding its microstructure, its composition, examining its surface contaminants. So all the informations particular related to the particular element like chemical composition, qualitative or chemical analysis can also be used. These SEMs can be used. So major applications of SEM, as I said, it is used in scientific industry. It is also used as a research tool. So SEM is used as a research tool for life science, biology, gemology, medical and forensic science, and also in metallurgy field also. SEM are practically used for industrial and technological applications such as semiconductor inspection, production line of some minuscule products. So small particles or small products are there, we want to inspect them. For such purpose we make use of these SEMs, and they are also used for assembly of microchips for computers. So for assembling of microchips for computers we make use of this SEM. So these are few of the applications of SEM. Let us know what are its advantages. So as we see that, so SEM are more easy to operate. So with proper training, if a operator is properly trained, then it is very easy to operate. And since now the technology is advancing and SEMs are associated with the computer, so the advances in computer and this technology will help the operator to make it as a user friendly one, and it is helpful. It will help us to gather more information very easily. So SEM also provides detailed three-dimensional and topographical image and information regarding a particular object from the variety of detectors that we use. Since it employs a number of detectors, we can gather more information about that object from this SEM. This SEM has high resolution compared to optical microscope. So therefore the SEMs are having higher resolution and they can work faster, and they help for completing the analysis within less than 5 minutes. We can get the analysis of that particular object. So therefore, along with this, so we have some technological advances in modern SEM. So there are modern scanning electron microscopes which are still more advanced, and this will allow us to gather the data in a digital form. So the data can be collected in the form of digital form also. Let us discuss what are its advantages and disadvantages. Now let us discuss what is a disadvantage. So the major disadvantage of the scanning electron microscope is that they are large and expensive, because its construction makes use of a number of lenses, and the setup makes use of a number of detectors. So therefore it is large and expensive. It must be free. The SEMs are expensive and they are large, and that's why they should be housed in an area wherein they are free from electric, magnetic or vibration interferences. So SEM require high level of maintenance because of its sturdy construction. It makes use of maintenance, so we require maintenance is a major thing. So it requires high level of maintenance, and here supply of steady voltage currents to electromagnetic coils and circulation of cool water, all these are most essential requirement for an SEM. Skilled operators are required to prepare samples. Sample preparation is again a major thing. So before the specimen has to be analyzed by using SEM, sample preparation is the major step. So skilled operators are required to prepare the samples, or else it will the details whatever or the information whatever we want to gather may just be not be possible to collect. So therefore proper preparation of samples is most required. SEMs are limited to solid and inorganic samples. So scanning electron microscopes are used for only solid samples and inorganic samples, which are smaller and that are able to fit inside the vacuum chamber with moderate vacuum pressure. That means we make use of a vacuum chamber which is small and it is limited in size. So therefore the vacuum chamber is small, so therefore sample size are limited. So smaller samples are only possible to be used. Here electrical and magnetic radiations will be emitted during this working. So therefore these radiation may pose problems to the operator, hence it is necessary to follow the safety precautions. So safety is a major thing. So safety precautions have to be taken because of the electrical and magnetic radiations that are emitted during the working, and these radiations may pose problems to the operator who is operating. So with this we'll stop our today's class. We shall continue tomorrow by discussing some other types of microscopes. Thank you.